The 9th edition of the FIFA Women's World Cup came to a spectacular conclusion yesterday evening, crowning Spain as the world champions. The World Cup this time has set the benchmark for the women football, drawing immense laurels for the competitive edge witnessed in the tournament. The jam-packed stadiums in the host countries, Australia and New Zealand, and an unprecedented global television audience further highlighted the ever-growing popularity of women football. Good morning, I'm Chitrakar, and these are the headlines of the hour. Koshi Chief Minister Uddhav Thapa to face the confidence vote today. Deputy Chair Danwar refuses to chair the session, reaches Kathmandu. The Parliamentary Hearing Committee conducting the hearing of proposed Chief Justice Bishambar Prasad Shrestha today. Hearing could just be a formality. Several thousand people demonstrate in the capital of Niger in support of last month's military coup as leaders warn against outside intervention, proposing a 3-year transition of power. And 10-men West Ham tame Chelsea 3-1 in the English Premier League. Aston Villa also register a morale-boosting victory over Everton. It's Nag Panchami today. The day is celebrated with much fanfare by offering special worship to serpent deity. There is an age-old ritual of visiting ponds and water bodies to offer their prayers, while pictures representing serpent deity are also put at the entrance of the houses as part of the celebration. Serpent deity is also considered the representation of Lord Vishnu and Lord Shiva, and hence hold immense significance in Hindu culture. The Provincial Assembly of Koshi Province has been scheduled for today as Province Chief Minister Uddhav Thapa is all set to seek the vote of confidence. However, there is uncertainty as Deputy Speaker Srijana Danwar of CPN-UML has denied to chair the meeting. Danwar, who has informed that she would not be chairing the Provincial Assembly meeting, saying that she was unwell, has reached Kathmandu early this morning. This is CPN-UML's ploy to prevent the Chief Minister from seeking the vote of confidence. The meeting of the Province's Planning Commission had been called for today, however, it has yet to begin amid looming uncertainties. There is confusion regarding who will chair the meeting in the absence of the Deputy Speaker. 4 members of the Provincial Assembly had been nominated to hold meetings in the absence of Speaker and Deputy Speaker. However, 2 of the members, Malati Kumari Limbu of CPN-UML and Amar Bahadur Bista of RPP, have informed the Secretariat of the Provincial Assembly that they would not attend the meeting. Likewise, senior members of the Provincial Assembly, Rohit Bahadur Karki, Ramprasad Mahatto, Tara Devi Thakal, Kharga Bahadur Basnet and Gyanendra Subedi had also registered their absence in the meeting that is slated for today. In their absence, Amrit Kumar Aryal of Nepali Congress must chair the meeting as the senior member. The 96-member Koshi Provincial Assembly comprises of a total of 47 members from the ruling alliance, with 29 members from Nepali Congress, 13 from CPN Maoist Centre, 4 from CPN Unified Socialist and 1 from Janata Samajwadi Party. Meanwhile, there are a total of 46 members from the opposition, with 40 from CPN-UML and 6 from RPP. The Chief Minister requires at least 47 votes to clear the floor test. The Socialist Forum, comprising 4 parties, including CPN Maoist Centre, has decided to hold assemblies in all 7 provinces. The meeting held in the party office of CPN Unified Socialist in Aloknagar earlier this morning decided to hold assemblies to extend the forum's objectives in all the provinces. The assemblies will be held in Birganj, Butwal, Dhangadi, Surkhet, Pokhara, Hetauda and Biratnagar from 25th of August to 11th of September. Leaders have said that the meeting dwelt on government activities and contemporary political affairs. The meeting of the Socialist Forum has been held after almost 3 months since its formation. In the meantime, the meeting of main parties is scheduled for today as well, in a bid to address the ongoing Parliament obstruction. Several rounds of talks have been held to end the Parliament obstruction that has continued since 26th of July. However, they have failed to reach a consensus. The all-party meeting called by Prime Minister Pushpa Kamal Dahal yesterday in an effort to end the obstruction at the Parliament ended inconclusively. After a consensus was not reached between the parties, the meeting of the House of Representatives was adjourned till 3 p.m. tomorrow. However, leaders have claimed that the meeting of the leaders of the national parties represented in the Parliament have been optimistic in finding a middle way to resume the parliamentary proceedings. Although discussion was held at the meeting called at the office of the Prime Minister and Council of Ministers at Singha Darbar on finding the middle path, it failed to reach a conclusion. The political parties are preparing to find a way not to interfere with the police investigations and also to fulfill the demand of the main opposition, CPN-UML, of forming a high-level investigation committee to probe into the recent gold smuggling scandal. However, the parties have failed to reach a conclusion on determining the jurisdiction of the high-level investigation committee to be formed. Leaders of various parties participating in the meeting also said that discussions were positive and were optimistic on reaching a conclusion in the next meeting that is scheduled for today. Chairperson of CPN-UML, KP Sharma Oli, did not participate in the meeting yesterday. The all-party meeting today will be held, including leaders KP Sharma Oli and Sher Bahadur Deuba, among others. After consensus was not reached among the parties, the meeting of the House of Representatives, which was scheduled for yesterday, was also adjourned till tomorrow at the request of Prime Minister Dahal. CPN-UML has been obstructing the sessions of the House of Representatives and the National Assembly since 26th of July last month, demanding for the formation of a high-level investigation committee to probe into the recent gold smuggling scandal. The Parliamentary Hearing Committee is all set to conduct the hearing of proposed Chief Justice Bishambar Prasad Shrestha today. The meeting of the Parliamentary Committee yesterday slated the hearing date for today. The committee, just over a week ago, issuing a notice of public concern, had urged all to file their complaints against Chief Justice proposed Bishambar Prasad Shrestha if they had any. Only 3 complaints have been filed against Shrestha. During the parliamentary hearing today, Shrestha will produce proof of his credentials and his forthcoming plans. Following the retirement of Chief Justice Hari Krishna Karki, Shrestha has been heading the judiciary in the capacity of acting Chief Justice. The Kathmandu Metropolis has amended the Education Act by putting a ban on teachers and other staffers from indulging in political activities. The amended Education Act also has a provision of free competitions to select school principals. There are 2,200 teachers and other non-teaching staff at the 89 community schools of Kathmandu Metropolitan City. The Metropolis decision comes in the wake of complaints that the involvement of teachers in politics has affected the teaching-learning environment. The amended act also has a provision to sack a teacher in case the teacher in question fails to perform the responsibilities. At the same time, the teaching faculties are also barred from working elsewhere during their school hours. The Metropolis has also scrapped the ill practice of nominating school principals on the basis of contact and power rather than credentials. Meanwhile, along with the amendment of the Education Act, the Kathmandu Metropolis has also scrapped the management committees of 89 community schools and as many as 504 private schools. The economic condition of the country that had slackened amid the corona pandemic is yet to revive completely. The market is now reeling under a high inflation and an unstable bank interest rate on loan. There was a time when, amid hectic business atmosphere, the operators of various businesses in New Road's Bishal Bazaar would not even have proper time for food breaks. However, the scenario is drastically different as the area wears a deserted look with many shutters pulled down and notices reading "To Let" being a common sight. Many of the businesses here have fled the market, while some are waiting for the upcoming Dasai season for a change in fortune. A study conducted by the Nepal National Trade Association 2 months ago had revealed that some 35 to 40% shutters across the country had remained closed. The figure in Kathmandu stands around 20%. Economists say that the 3 tiers of the government now needs to create employment opportunities and enhance productivity to keep the national economy floating. It may be recalled that there has been a price hike in all daily consumable goods and construction materials. Experts also say that the state should pay the due amount of 60 billion rupees to the contractor companies to activate the ailing economy. In our Public Voice segment, we had asked people in several provinces why is there lack of business environment. Let's take a look at what they had to say.
मान्छेको सीमित तलबाट चाहिँ घर चलाउन सक्ने अवस्था छैन
मार्केटिङ गर्न पनि अब त्यति छैन आय स्रोतहरु छैन कमाइ धमाइ त्यति छैन
आर्थिक भ्रष्टाचार सुनियोजित ढंगले माथिल्लो तहबाटै भएको कारणले
आर्थिक मन्दी लागेछ व्यापार छैन हेर्नु जसरी घर भाडा तिर्नै पर्छ
कमाउने बाटोहरु पनि छैनन् त्यति धेरै
आम्दानी भए पो त बजार पनि चलपल हुन्छ
बैंकले चाहिँ सारा चाहिँ अब लगानी बन्द गरेको जो परिस्थिति छ त्यसले गर्दाखेरि सारा चौपट छ
विकास खर्च समयमै हुन नसक्दा आम रूपमा दूरदराजमा रहेका मानिसहरूको हातमा पैसा पुग्न सकेको छैन र त्यसले गर्दाखेरि बजारमा पैसा आउन सकेको छैन
अहिले पैसाको अभाव छ
अस्थिर राजनीति पनि हो एउटा कुरो
कोभिडको कारणले गर्दाखेरि मन्दी लागेको छ
बैंकका ब्याज दरहरू बढ्दै जानु उत्पादनहरू नहुनु निर्यातजन्य वस्तु नहुनु आयात मात्रै हुनु
मजदुरहरूको आवाजात कम भएको भएर उनीहरूले काम नपाएको भएर नै मेन चाहिँ त्यही कारण नै हो
मान्छेसँग पैसै छैन
ठुलठुला व्यापारीहरूसँग मात्रै सीमित पैसा सीमित भएको कारणले पनि यो आर्थिक चलामान भइरहेको छैन
Time now for our segment Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion.
Public Pulse.
Here's the question. What's your take on the government bodies themselves concealing information? Your options are A, breach of right to information, B, undemocratic practice, and C, lack of awareness. Voting is on. Type any WS, select your option A, B or C and send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us. Time now for international update. Several thousand people have demonstrated in the capital of Niger in support of last month's military coup, whose leader warned against outside intervention and proposed a 3-year transition of power. Demonstrators chanted slogans against former colonial power France and West African regional bloc ECOWAS after it vowed to restore ousted leader Mohamed Bazoum. The Sahel states' new military leaders have officially banned demonstrations, but those in support of the coup are allowed to go ahead. The demonstrators waved placards saying "Stop the military intervention" and "No to sanctions" in reference to financial and trade restrictions imposed by ECOWAS 4 days after the push on July 26. The latest in a string of pre-coup rallies came a day after the new military ruler in Niamey warned an attack on Niger would not be a walk in the park. General Abdurrahmane Tiani also said in a televised address on Saturday that he did not wish to confiscate power and a transition of power back to civilian rule would not go beyond 3 years. Tiani also announced a 30-day period of national dialogue to draw up concrete proposals to lay the foundations of a new constitutional life. ECOWAS leaders say they have to act now that Niger has become the fourth West African nation since 2020 to suffer a coup following Burkina Faso, Guinea and Mali. The bloc agreed to activate a standby force as a last resort to restore democracy in Niger. Polling stations in Guatemala City closed yesterday at 6 p.m. local time in a presidential runoff election that many hope will signal an end to democratic backsliding that took place under previous administrations. Tellers at a polling station in the capital city welcomed the end of the voting process with a countdown after applauding the last voters turning up to cast their ballots. Recent polls have predicted Bernardo Arevalo, a center-left candidate running on an anti-graft message for the Semilla Movement Party, will trounce establishment figure and former First Lady Sandra Torres from the UNE party. The election is being closely watched by the international community after campaigning was marred by attempts by some officials to remove Arevalo and his Semia party from the race. Polls closed in Ecuador's presidential and legislative election yesterday after a campaign darkened by bloodshed. Amid voter hopes, the winner will bring the country out of a spiral of violence and economic troubles. A webpage set up for some Ecuadorians living abroad to cast their ballots suffered cyber attacks. The head of the National Electoral Council, Diana Atmaint, said, but the integrity of the vote was not affected. An early exit poll after voting ended at 5 p.m. local time showed Luisa Gonzalez, a prodigy of leftist former President Rafael Correa, leading with nearly 33% of the vote. Former lawmaker Daniel Noboa notched a surprise second place finish with 20.5% of the vote, according to the poll. Jan Topic, a businessman who says he served in the French Foreign Legion and who pledged to make the country's security problems his top priority, was just behind Noboa with 18.3%. Tropical storm Hillary brought heavy rains and flooding to Southern California yesterday. In Wrightwood, California, about 70 miles northeast of Los Angeles, the rain washed trees and mud down a hill in Sheep Canyon. The debris was loosened by an avalanche in the winter, according to an eyewitness. Hillary, which made landfall early in the day in the northern part of the Baja California peninsula, has been weakening over the last 48 hours. But it is still said to be the wettest storm ever to hit the U.S. Southwest, according to Zach Taylor, a meteorologist with the National Weather Service. Before wrapping up, here's a look at the top stories once again. Koshi Chief Minister Uddhav Thapa to face the confidence vote today. Deputy Chair Danwar refuses to chair the session, reaches Kathmandu. The Parliamentary Hearing Committee conducting the hearing of proposed Chief Justice Bishombar Prasad Shrestha today. Hearing could just be a formality. Several thousand people demonstrate in the capital of Niger in support of last month's military coup as leaders warn against outside intervention, proposing a 3-year transition of power. And 10-men West Ham tame Chelsea 3-1 in the English Premier League. Aston Villa also register a morale-boosting victory over Everton. That's all for the moment. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.